And here he is, sashaying in. He joins us every Thursday for a look at the best new films, TV shows. Matt Wolfrey, Nine's entertainment reporter. Before we get to the picks out this week, Matt, the Friends reunion, I know lots of people watched it, but the amount of money that they were paid, pretty penny.
Yeah, they certainly were. They were made famous back in the day for their contract negotiations where they all banded together and ended up getting paid $1 million per episode in the final season of the show. Well, it appears they've done it again because they held off an initial offer of $1 million each to do this special and instead were more likely paid at least $2.5 million each to revisit the show and get together. And it's not a bad bit of cash for them, considering all it was them sitting around and chatting with old friends.
Yeah.
It's not hard money to avert for them, that's for sure. They also didn't really need the extra cash because they reportedly each earn around $20 million a year in syndication payments as well.
Wow.
So
good luck to them, I say. Well
they're
done.
sitting pretty.
Yeah, exactly. Now, what can we watch at the movies? Because it's a wintry day. It's a perfect day to kind of catch up on some films or shows. You've got the first one, a movie, Breaking News in Yuba County. What's that about?
Yeah, that's right. This is Allison Janney's latest movie. She plays a neglected banker's wife who kind of finds herself at the centre of attention from a sort of media frenzy after her husband dies in the throes of an affair, and she pretends instead that he's a missing person instead of that he's actually dead and buried under a tree. It's a little bit tongue-in-cheek, a little bit farcical in the way it kind of operates. It has an all-star cast in this one, Deb. Awkwafina, Mila Kunis, Regina Hall, Wanda Sykes. There's big names throughout it. And I had really high expectations going in for this, but I have to admit, it fell a little bit short. I wish it was more of a mystery and you kind of didn't know what happened in the first 1 minute of the movie. It's just one of those films that just isn't as good in the watching as what it read like it was going to be on paper, unfortunately. Having said that, Allison Janney I find funny in almost everything that she does, so it's not the worst thing you can go and do and sit on your bum and watch this weekend.
That is true.
Yeah, 'tis the season for scary movies at the moment, Deb, because it's kind of between Oscar award season and school holidays, so there's not this is when they often tend to drop. This is The Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It. Paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren, they're back again, this time stopping a curse put on a family who they've been tasked with performing an exorcism on. Look, this is the latest. In fact, it's the 7th movie in this franchise that's now worth around $1 billion is how much it's made at the box office, these series of movies. It has plenty of jumps and frights throughout, as you'd probably expect. It gets a little bit cheesy, though, when they started talking about, love being stronger than evil throughout parts of it. But plenty of things that go bump in the night and had me checking under my bed before I went to sleep that night, for sure. Look, if you're a fan of all the Conjuring movies, you're going to like this one. And actually, there's something quite nice and comforting about the, plot line that it follows, that you know kind of where it's going.
Okay,
So
it does sound scary.
What's interesting about those ones, Debs, is they're technically all kind of based off true stories. Ed and Lorraine are actually real life psychic medium people who have helped police solve murders. So there is that's kind of interest if it's not really for you a normal scary movie.
Okay, now give me your pick. You got a few here on the streaming services.
Yeah, Netflix, Bo Burnham Inside. You know what? How people were getting creative during lockdown. We saw lots of TikToks and videos on social media. Well, this is an example of someone put their time to good use. It's recorded over the course of a year, everything done by himself in his small little LA flat. It's a musical theatre comedy kind of performance with all these little skits and songs throughout, with subjects that kind of border between funny and sadly depressing about his time in lockdown. I guess I describe it as sort of human, heartbreaking, funny, and it makes you feel as equally anxious about being in lockdown as you do entertained. Probably okay for us people in Sydney and the rest of the country. It might hit a little too close to home for people in Melbourne right now.
Yeah,
Deb.
possibly. And Head Above Water?
Yeah, we talked about this a few weeks ago. It's the 4-part docuseries about Olympic swimmers. It's dropping tomorrow on Amazon Prime. It features Ian Thorpe, Bronte Campbell, Kyle Chalmers, Cody Simpson, and looks at how these athletes are kind of dealing with the pressure both in and outside of the pool. It's a pretty interesting insight into how they kind of tackle such a competitive sport and industry, and it's showing, Ian shows people who've done it, the Chalmers and Campbell are showing people who are in the middle of it, and Cody Simpson, people who are trying to achieve that glory. It's shot beautifully, and it's really visually great to watch, and it just shows why we need to have more Aussie content like this on our screens, which Amazon is doing. They've announced a whole heap of more productions like this to come.
Yeah, fantastic. And I watched The Mayor of Easttown, which was with Kate Winslet, who was outstanding, and the Aussie and Gary Rice in the role too, and that's on Binge. That's a great show if anyone's looking for something to watch over the weekend.
It is so good, isn't it? And I've been waiting for it to finish to recommend it to people so they can go and binge it on Binge, because it's the perfect one to do this. A detective who investigates a mysterious murder in a small, close-knit town is also trying to stop her personal life from unravelling. Look, on the surface, it's just another one, a crime drama, but it's probably the best of a big bunch of these kind of TV shows, and probably the best thing I have seen this year on television.
Yeah.
Kate Winslet is perfection. Guy Pearce and Gary Rice, as you say, fly the flag for the Aussies too, and it is just brilliant, and the last episode is worth getting through to watch that one alone.
No, I recommend that too. It's fantastic. The Mayor of Easttown. Well done, Matt. Thank you so much. We'll talk again next week.